Yo, yo, what's up, guys? What's up? How's everybody doing this morning? Yeah, T E U M. Sorry. Uh, Hold on, let me mute this thing. All right. Um, yeah, TEUM didn't look bad. I'd like to see a little bit more volume with it, but it didn't look terrible. Solo ACRX, kind of the same thing. I just want to see a little bit more volume. You know. What's up, Scott? What's up, Anthony? AR, Joe. Good morning. We got some movement though today. We really do have some movement here. Um, Look at CGC. The cannabis plays are really kind of going crazy. CGC, NBEV, ACB, all those cannabis plays are really going crazy. EA also had another gap up. EA, SAEX, APHA, ACB, CZR. A lot of movement. What's up, Andy? Good morning. But yeah, a lot of movement, really. All right. I'll be back in a minute, guys. I'm trying to make sure my. I'll be right back. I'll be back in like 10 minutes for the normal time. What's up, Nick? Good morning, man. But yeah, I'll be back in like 10 minutes. I gotta drink my coffee, wake up a little bit more. Yo, yo, what's up, guys? Yeah, so TD Ameritrade does have the PDT rule. You can only trade 3 times in a rolling 5-day week. Um, TradeNet, TradeNet's partnering broker is Tefs, and on Tefs, with the funded account program, there's no PDT rule, so I can trade as much as I want. Um, Somebody asked if there's a minimum balance. I mean, you pay for a package, right? And depending on the package you pay for, you get a certain amount of buying power. So you're not depositing money into an account. You are paying for an educational package. It's not a deposit. You are paying for that package. And then with that, Tefs partners with you and gives you a funded account for a certain amount of money depending on the package you bought, if that makes sense. But yeah, the market looks pretty good today. I know Mitch said he was in Colorado finally, so I'm going to try to send him an invite, see if we can get Mitch in here, but it's unlikely that he'll be able to do the stream. I think he's still probably transitioning over in Colorado, but I'll try. Yeah, U.S. brokers are ultimately going to be regulated. I mean, you can with U stock trade. Like, there's no PDT rule on U stock trade, but it's not a conventional broker. Just kind of like TradeNet and Tefs is CFD trading. Uh, U stock trade is peer to peer trading, so it's kind of a loophole in the PDT rule. But like any conventional broker in the U.S., you're going to have to follow the PDT rule. Um, Morning squawk. Futures are pointed to a higher Wall Street open this morning following a mixed session which saw the Dow and S&P in brief win streaks. Stock futures were lower in early trading this morning, but eventually went higher after China President Xi Jinping said trade talks with the U.S. would continue next week in Washington. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I tried. Yeah, CME Group is overseas. So CME Group is like an alternative to SureTrader. PepsiCo, Deere, and Moody's Newell Brands, they issued their quarterly earnings before today's opening bell. So Pepsi, DE. Let's take a look at them. Pepsi's up. DE is down. Moody's is just about break even. Newell Brands is down pretty significantly after most likely bad earnings. Yeah, CGC doesn't look bad. I mean, some of the cannabis plays don't look bad, really. Like, if I pull this over here, and we look at some of the cannabis stocks, they're moving in a decent, you know, push up here. You see APHA up here gapping up some. Looks nice. Cron, CRON gapping up. CGC's up. TLRY up. NBEV is up. ACB is up. So the cannabis plays are really moving today. We also have CZR gapping up some from 940 to 975. Looks good. May look for it to fill that gap under that 970, 965 level. We also have EA pushing up here. AMD. That looks good. Have a good day at school, okay?
Love you.
Love you. All right. SOLO is moving some. It's not necessarily gapping up. It's gapping down some from 480 to 447. ACRX gapping up some. EA. Like I said, gapping up some. EA had Apex Legends come out, and you know, a pretty hyped new game for EA, and so it's gapping up some. TLND gapping up some. SAEX gapping up some. So we got some movement here. What's up, John? Good morning, man. All right. But yeah, cannabis stocks are probably going to be my main watches. I mean, they're kind of moving more than everything else. And so definitely going to be watching the cannabis plays today to see what we can get into. Yeah, I've never played it before, Coffin Scott. I just never played it before. I've played PUBG and I've played Fortnite 1 or 2 times. I don't really like Fortnite. I like PUBG, but I don't play it much. But I did like Titanfall, and this game is like a spin-off of Titanfall, and it looks fun. And so I may play it some actually this weekend, but it looks cool. What's up, Scott? Cast. COTY. Yeah, we can look at COTY. Yeah, I can't either. And Fortnite, no offense to anybody that plays it, it just seems more like childish. You know, it seems like something like my daughter would be into. You know what I mean? Like, Apex Legends looks cool. Fortnite seems more childish. And it kind of has, like, this cult-like following where, you know, it's just got this big cult of people that play it. I've never been into it. I feel like today is going to be a good day and I'm missing it. I'm just going to keep learning and then I'll be able to catch one of these good days. Yeah, for sure. Just take it slow, man. Don't be pressured into trading if you're not ready for it, you know. ORPN, gapping up a little bit there, two-way. What's up, man? What's up, two-way? Yes, tiny float for ORPN. Tiny float, gapping up from 110 to 129. Low volume, though. Isn't it the remake of isn't it the remake of the old Nintendo game? Right. What's up, Mike? No, you're good, bro. You're good, man. Good morning. Yeah, like Nick says, man, you want to learn trading like you're going to be doing it for the next 20 years because if you get good at it, you probably will, you know. And so don't treat it like a get rich quick scheme because it's really not. A lot of people treat it like it's some get rich quick scheme where they're going to make $1 million in 2 weeks. And part of the problem with that is like that's what some of the people advertise it as. They say it is possible to make $10 million in 2 weeks with my strategy. And it's just kind of like, yeah, well, you know, a little misleading. It's possible. It's highly unlikely though, you know. Yeah, CGC making nice moves here. Let's see what kind of news this one has. All right, so earnings are expected to come out today for CGC. Appreciate the sub. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. Not going to try to pronounce it. I think I'll probably pronounce it wrong. But I appreciate the sub regardless. Yeah, so APHA has some good stuff come out on it. The special committee concluded the acquisition of LATAM assets and was within acceptable range versus similar deal by rivals. CGC reported third quarter sales that went up 282% over the past year. Profit was also up because the company's first sale of legal recreational cannabis in Canada, which did account for more than 70% of their gross revenue. The CGC did miss profit expectations, which was from operational costs, and those operational costs did remain up relative to their peers, the other people doing the same thing as them, according to a certain analyst. And so, pretty good news for CGC. That's probably causing some sympathy movement in the overall market. And so it's not terrible, not bad there. All right. Sorry, let me catch back up. Do you prefer scalping? Not really. I usually hold it maybe on average 20, 30 minutes is usually what I hold it to. Yeah, CGC had good earnings. Pun says, when I started, I was trading anything. Now I look at the market before I trade, and I award myself if I don't trade. Yeah, I haven't traded in the last 2 days, which is the longest break where I've actually been watching the market and streaming but haven't traded in months, which is good. I mean, I'm being selective this week, which I think is okay. Shiz says, I do agree that the pot stocks are going to be the ones to watch. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're the ones that are moving probably the most. We also have CZR. Like if you look here, you can see CZR is gapping up some. We have COTY, which is kind of slowed down a little bit. What was the one yesterday? What was the big mover yesterday? Solo, SOLO. I'll probably keep an eye on that one too. RDFN, Redfin, gonna watch that one. AXL, DB. What was it? DBZ, DZB? What was it from yesterday? I can't remember. But yeah, APHA, Cannabis stocks, CGC, AMD, a lot of stocks look good today. What's up, Houston? VKTX RBZ. Yeah, maybe that was it. Yeah, RBZ was it. Crazy day for RBZ yesterday. Never really rebounded though. VKTX. Yeah, VKTX ran up some yesterday, but yeah, we got AMD as well. AMD would have been a nice opening range, but the opening range hasn't been doing me right, and since I started trading the fade, I've had mostly green days, and so I'm just going to stick back with trading the fade. FUV with a late push yesterday. Yeah, FUV did have a really big push here. Nice volume too. So we got some volume today, guys. We do have some volume for sure. SPB looks alright. Moved up yesterday. What's up, Felix? Good morning, man. Good morning, KC Mac. GBR. I remember GBR. GBR is, I believe it's a blockchain related stock. Am I wrong? When I think of GBR, I just think of this right here. Like if you look at the daily, like you could see, I've definitely traded this one before on GBR. If you look at the daily, I remember this big move here when it went from 120s up to 1275 last July. And so I remember this move. I want to say it's a crypto related stock. I might be wrong, but I do remember trading it. I appreciate the sub, TLC. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, we got MRIN gapping down, TRUE gapping down, LOGM gapping down, XPO gapping down, NWL. I think most of these are probably earnings. These are all gapping down. FUV, though, even though it is gapping down, the volume looks good. I'll watch that one. Like I said, we got AMD gapping up, CZR gapping up, and so we got some movement today for sure. ACB, some of the other cannabis plays up on Sympathy, APHA, Cron. We have CRON. That looks good. We also have SAEX. That looks good. SAEX. I'll see if I can trade any of these, but hey, appreciate the $5 donation. Shiz. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. That's awesome, brother. Appreciate the support, man. Appreciate it. Really do. Thanks, man. Glad to have somebody support the channel, brother. So, means a lot, man. Appreciate it. Any reason why SAEX is pushing up? Hold on one second. I'll look it up. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm not seeing any catalyst for SAEX either. The last thing that came out was in January. And so who knows why that one's moving up. Oh, wait, you did post the news on it two-way? Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate it, Shiz. It's awesome, man. Appreciate the donation, brother. Let's see. I'm going up to look at. Okay, so Two-Way did post something for SAEX. He said the 13G Morgan Stanley holds raises stake in company from 67.3K shares to 309,000.04 shares. The float is tiny for SAEX. It's 2.7 million, so a very small float. But yeah. Basically, Morgan Stanley raised their stake in SAEX from 67,000 roughly to 309,000. And since the float is so small, what is that percentage? 309 out of 270. That is what? Roughly 1 out of 9. Somebody let me know what that percentage is. What is that like? 1 out of 9. It's like 80 something, 70 something, 80 something. It is 89%. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Right, it's 9%. That's what I was thinking of. It's too early for me. Walmart, I'll have to look that one up in a second. Yeah, I mean, you could start with small amounts. It's just take it slow. Like, you don't need to use huge sizing when you first get started. Like, it's a process, right? Like, one of the reasons most new traders fail is because they jump in right away and they try to use like 1,000, 2,000 shares, and their whole account's gone before they can really learn how to trade, right? And so then they give up. They say it's rigged. I quit. And they never trade again, and that's why 90% of traders fail. It's just so just take it slow. Use small sizing. Just go in with it like very, very slow. You don't need to try to copy all these other big time traders that are making these huge trades. Just take it slow. Thinkorswim DMG, Webull, Snap Trade. There's a lot of different options. MTFB did not give FDA approval for their new drug. Do I think APHA will hit 10 today? Maybe. It's definitely possible. It's just about. It's definitely possible. I'll say that. I like that 10 level for like resistance as well. So like it may test it. $10 being right around here. It's got some resistance there, so 10 looks interesting for sure. Wow. Yeah, man. I don't know what happened with MTFB. It looks like an acquisition, but terrible drop. Maybe a split? Not quite. Kind of looks like a 1 to 10 split, just because it's down to 10% of what it was prior, at least at the lows. Not quite 10%, but close. What do I think about Trade Zero? I'm thinking about switching. I can't use Trade Zero. I think it's only for people that are outside the U.S. And so I don't think I can use it. So I've never used it. So I can't tell you whether it's good or bad. Never used it. Listen, man, but yeah, Anthony, that's a good way to look at it, right? And honestly, I can really relate to you saying that, Anthony. Not obviously not in trading. I'm still kind of working my way with trading, but in anything, goals are good, right? Like when I started my Amazon business, that's exactly what was in my mind. Like if I can just make $100 a day, I will be fine. I will be good, right? But what happens is once you get to that, $100 a day, you want more. At least I did. I wanted more, and so then I pulled it up to 200 a day, and then 300 a day, and that's kind of where it's at now. But goals are good, and goals are scalable. And so keep with that mindset. Give yourself goals. I try to, with the businesses I do and with trading, I try to just give myself concrete, obvious goals. And then once I get to those goals, I try to scale it up. But having that goal is good. It'll keep you kind of grounded and, allow you to kind of really shoot for something. Yeah, for sure. Or even with like YouTube, you know what I mean? Like even with YouTube, right? I remember being like, if I can make $1,000 a month on YouTube, I'll be super happy, right? And now I've scaled it way past that, and you know, now I have a different goal for it, and so it grows and you can scale it. But having that first goal is good, and it allows you to really set your eyes on something and really work towards something. But yeah, CZR also looks interesting. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Curious. I think that's a reasonable one to shoot for. But like I said, once you get there, you're going to want more, I think it's human nature too. But yeah, CZR, you can see CZR gapped up nicely. We'll see what happens under 970. I think 970, 965 is okay. Maybe gap fill down to 940. Small reward target, but going to watch CZR. Like I said, SAEX had something came out. Morgan Stanley increased their stake in the company, I think is what it was for SAEX. And so going to watch it under that 460 support here. It closed at 389, so let me document that right here. But yeah, watch the CGC today. We'll see what we get. What's the SPY doing? Alright, so the SPY is kind of crazy. It closed here. It closed right here. And so it's up. It's up about $1 right now. So the SPY is pretty volatile as well. This usually can mean that maybe the opening range breakout on AMD or something like that might be beneficial today. And so I might watch for that as well today. I appreciate it, Raha. As long as you're not secretly hero, welcome, man. I appreciate the sub, Joseph. Thanks, brother. And QJ. Appreciate the sub. Bobby D. Thanks, man. Appreciate the subs, guys. I know. Scott, I feel like it probably is, but just in fairness, I'm not gonna mess with him about it. I think it probably is. Yeah, I watched Kron too. I watched Kron. Kron's up. Yesterday, I actually did get in one trade. The reason I didn't update anybody is because I actually ended it up $1. The trade was basically this. I got in a ACB here for this fade. and I was planning on covering here, and I just got impatient. And on some of these moves back up, on this move back up, I think I covered like right here, at, for a dollar profit. And so it kind of goes to show I got a little impatient with it. It would have been about a $30-40 gain, but I made a dollar from it, and so I didn't think it was worthwhile to post about it. APHA gapped up, but overall it's in a downward trend since this year. Yeah, for sure. I mean, since this month, really, you know. I mean, it's been in an upward trend really since January. January started here, like right here. And so since January, it's actually been an upward trend. Since February, it's been moving down, though. What's up, Pat? Yeah, I could post mine. Hold on, let me find it, Pat. It's somewhere in here. I just gotta scroll up to find it. If anybody knows where my watch list went, let me see. Let me know. It's up here somewhere. I just can't find it now. I'm watching basically the cannabis plays, APHA, CGC, Cron, AMD, SAEX, CZR, EA, TLND. Like I said, Cron, CBay. CBay looks good. CBAY. I think two-way posted CBay, right? Yeah, I don't want to give you the wrong answer, Raha. So I just don't want to give you the wrong answer, man. It just depends, for sure. All right, I'm going to look up the news for CBAY. Just try to figure out what's going on with it. Yeah, CGC had really good earnings. Not really good earnings. It had really good report. I have to think what it was. I appreciate it, 2A. So CBAY announced a Sela Delpar granted breakthrough therapy designation from the FDA for the treatment of primary biliary cholangitis. A float of 47 million. I still think I did that pretty well. All things considered, that was a kind of tough one to read. I did that one pretty well. I'm gonna give myself some brownie points for that one. Yeah, we'll see what CGC gives us. Looks interesting. Dragging the whole cannabis sector up. Yeah, man. You be sending me those bio ones too, eh? Those bio ones are no fun, man. No fun. All right, guys, we got about 24 minutes left. 24. We got. It's 9:24. We got about 6 minutes left, guys. So yeah, I'm watching CGC for sure. The other cannabis plays, AMD. Gonna keep an eye on the overall SPY as well. In a minute, we'll get the intraday scans up to see what we get with those. All right, guys. Let's see. We got about 5 minutes left. 5 minutes. FUV and Solo. Yeah, FUV and Solo don't look bad. Just to bring those up here, you can see FUV had a pretty big day, a nice day here. We also had SOLO. Big day yesterday. Ended up washing out after the bell yesterday. So we'll watch those two. All right, I'll be right back, guys. We got about 4.5 minutes. I'll be right back. Let me get this ready really quick. Get ready to trade. There we go. All set. All right, guys, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. CERC had FDA approval. Look at AMD, guys. AMD starting to spike here. So we are getting a spike in AMD. right, let's do it, guys. We got about 45 seconds. 45 seconds. Oh, sorry, Gaurav. Sorry, brother. I'll get back to it today, man. It has been one of the most stressful weeks of my life, so it's kind of been a little hectic trying to get back with some people. So I'll be sure to do that today. Yeah, no worries, Shiz. All right, guys. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Appreciate the sub, Annex. Appreciate it, brother. All right, we got 10 seconds, guys. Let's do it. There's the bell coming up right now. I'm expecting to see a long day now if the government shutdown's over. All right, we got big spike up on AMD, on AMD, a big push up here. The SPY's moving up a lot right before the close. Somebody said the shutdown is over. I'll have to check that out. Let me look something up. All right. All right, so right now we got the SPY about break even. It's up a little bit since the bell happened, but it's up a lot in pre-market. AMD pulling back some. We got APHA moving up. We can look at some of these other ones. CZR is actually coming down some. CZR is dropping. CERC popping up on the scanner. CERC on the scanners. But CGC is moving up really nicely, about to test these pre-market highs. Look at CGC. Pre-market high was here. Just broke it for a split second. We'll see if it can hold over that level, but it may get rejected there as well. We'll see. All right, there's the break over it. AMD pulling down. SPY pulling down. All right, well, the SPY is down some. Actually, it's not down some. It pulled back a little bit from the highs, but it just broke the lows. So the SPY did just break the lows. CGC continues to push up, looking strong here. What was the other one? APHA. We were seeing if it's going to hit 10. It's at 990 now. So APHA is right around 990. We'll see what it does there. But we got some washouts coming with some of these. AMD falling down. SPY looked like it was trying to break the lows here. AMD just broke the lows. We got Cron pushing up some. CRON pushing up some here. We got EA dropping, breaking the lows. EA dropping, AMD dropping, CGC still up. Cron still up. So Cannabis plays up. SAEX is kind of choppy, but up a little bit now. BKTX, I just want to see a little bit more volume. AMD, I don't hate a fade here for 7 cents on my risk. So from 57 to 67 is reasonable risk. And then from 57 down to 40 on AMD, I don't think looks terrible for a fade. So about 10-cent risk. If it can get up to 57, I don't think that looks bad. CGC pulling back some. APHA Cannabis plays curling back here. Nice two-way. Good job, brother. All right, AMD making this spike here. The only problem is that it may be due to the overall market spiking up. Like if you look at the SPY here, the SPY just did a really nice rebound all the way up here. And so, a little hesitant to get caught in that. Since the cannabis stocks are rebounding a little bit, I like those a little bit more. Alright, so watching AMD and some of these cannabis plays here. All relative to what the SPY is doing. But APHA specifically is one I'm watching. If it can get up to 972 maybe. I don't hate a risk of 980. Nice bike. I got in way too late for APHA with 300 shares. The only thing I could really do is maybe add another 100 if it gets up to 70, but way too late. Terrible fill. Bad fill with the market order. I don't hate it. It was good risk reward for the most part with 950 target, but man, just got a little bit. Just got filled at a worse spot. What was my fill? 964. Ugh, that's rough. Risk of 980. About 1-to-1 now, but just a bad fill overall. We'll see if we get a follow-through drop, but just a bad fill. I can try to add to it if it gets back up to, you know, the 70s to get a little bit better entry or average, but just a bad fill, unfortunately. My goal was really 70 entry, and I got 64, so I got 6 cents off. All right, I took part off there. I took 100 off there just to bank some profits. Protect myself a little bit more since my entry was a little bit worse. Can maybe consider adding it back up here to get a little bit better entry. I think that's a reasonable approach to take with it. Alright, move back down. We'll see if we get a follow through back down to the 950s. I want to see a breakdown to the 950s. Some of these are looking weak. Oh man, this one popped up quick. Oh man, Cron's dropping, CGC's dropping, but APHA is just staying firm up here, man. Weird. Still got some time. AMD dropping. We'll see what we get with some of these. But yeah, just a bad fill. This is really where I was shooting for my average to be. Alright, so I added another 100 there, trying to improve my average a little bit better here. 65, 66 cent average, so I don't hate it now. But still not what I wanted. It's about 1 to 1. Quick spike up here. Like I said, we're going to use that 980 level as my risk. Maybe AMD was a better fade here. Just missed it. Alright, well there's a little bit of a pullback here. Down to 69s. Alright, we're down to 69s. 68s. 66s. So that's good. We'll see if it continues dropping. The goal is for it to come back down here to the 950s. That's really what I'm shooting for here. I do like the fact that we have some more resistance above it here at around 78 or so. Hopefully I can maintain under here. There's 69s. Cron's dropping some. Big pullback. Alright, there's 66s. That's good. I use TradeNet and TEFs. Could mean short, Nick. All right, we're looking for this to maintain here under these levels. It's got some resistance here now at 78, but really we want to see it hold under these levels. Cron spiking up, that's not really good for me. May cause this one to move up. All right, there's 66s, looking a little bit better here. See if we can hold under that now. Wash out down to 65. Looks good. 63s. I can buy it, cover a little bit there. Just protect myself a little bit more in it. All right, Cron had a beautiful fade pullback there. And CGC is really washing out. So this should drag APHA down. All right, down to 62, 63s on APHA. It's got a hold underneath here, though. Down to 63. Let's see if we get a breakdown here. It's got a breakdown under 960. I mean, you can see Cron doing it. Or not Cron, yeah, Cron doing it. CGC doing it. MBEV is breaking down here. So most of the cannabis plays are dropping, which is good. 59s. If we get some more dropping here, 57s. All right, I took some more profits there. I've taken enough profits in this one. Now I can just really let it work and try to get down to my 950 level. Now I can just see if we're ever going to get that 950 break, and if not, I can get out for a small win. But if it really breaks down here like Cron's doing, then it should be a much bigger winner. AMD is also back up here to the VWAP. But look at Cron right now. Cron, big drop here. Look at this big, beautiful fade, though, on Cron here. Look at this fade right here. I'm kind of bummed out I missed that one, really, because that one was a pretty one. Same thing with CGC. I mean, CGC is really starting to break down here. Ideally, we want to see 950 break and crack and hold. So we'll see what we get that. Alright, so we'll see what we get here with APHA. The reason I took profits is because that was a likely reversal point. Here. Hey, he's got to turn that down. All right, well, we're still looking for a breakdown here. So the cannabis stock started to drop some. I've taken profits at a reasonable enough area now with APHA that it's not going to be a losing trade. And so it just depends on how much money I'm going to make now. Ideally in this trade, I'd like to see it break down under the 950s right here and really break down here, because if it breaks down under 950, it could really drop. If it pulls up to 69, I could add to it and give myself that same risk, but I would much rather just see it break down here. We'll give it some time. Sorry if I'm missing some of the chat. My wife's been trying to talk to me. Yeah, that is Killer and Hero and stuff like that. And so he's just a kid that doesn't really trade stocks, that just wants attention. And like I don't have time for that. Like I'm trying to focus on everybody else that has actual trading questions and this actual trade. And so he's just a kid. So I just try to ignore him at this point because he's just a kid trying to, that just wants some attention. There's 54. Let's see if we get the breakdown here. Gonna let it roll and see if we get that break under 950 is what we're really shooting for. But Cron's dropping, CGC's dropping. It should be good for the strategy here. There we go, 49s, 48s. Nice. $48s, 47s. $46. I'm gonna get out here. So I just sold at the breakdown. Got out at 45 for a $36 gain. I'll take it. The fades have definitely been in play though, guys. The fades have absolutely been in play. Out of the last week, that is no red days this week. Out of the last 8 trading days or so, 7 or 8 trading days, I've only had one red trade, one losing trade, and so the fades have definitely been in play. I've been seeing a lot of VWAP fades over and over and over again in the market. All right, so now I can answer some questions now that I'm actually done. What's up? What kind of questions did anybody have? I see a bunch of questions. I know one. What do I think about Robinhood? I think Robinhood has its uses. I think that it's good for a new trader to learn to trade. I wouldn't take it super serious though with if you're really trying to build gains. I think the reason I like Robinhood, even though there is the PDT rule, is that there's an option on Robinhood where you can select and not have to do the T3 rule or the T2 rule. So you don't have to wait 2 days for your funds to settle in Robinhood. So you get your funds immediately after you exit the trade. And so I like that about Robinhood with that certain package that they have where you can get your funds immediately. You can still only trade 3 times, but it's decent. Webull is like, same thing, zero commission broker. The charting and platform overall, in my opinion, is much, much better than Robinhood's on Webull. So you can also trade in pre-market and after hours on Webull. You can deposit $100 and trade in pre-market and after hours on Webull. And so I like that aspect of it. I don't think there's an option to do the immediate settlement like you have on Robinhood. So if you do trade on Webull, you are going to have to wait 2 days for your funds to settle after each trade. And so it's just about what the pros and cons are, like which ones you prefer more. How to determine your risk levels like you did for APHA. I just look at previous support and resistance, right? So like, I look at the range of the stock, previous support and resistance, right? So like this 980 level, resistance here, support here. If you move this level over, confirmation here, a little bit here. And so I just look for confirmation on that level. A mix of that and what I think is a reasonable enough risk level. And then for my reward target, I usually look for like the bottom of the range, right? So like if the range was here when I got into the trade, I'm setting this 950 level as my reward target. I took profits a little bit early, but I got reasonable enough gain from it. Let it drop a little bit. I got out at 945 and it dropped down to 944. So at this point, it's right around that low. So I got out almost exactly at the right spot, at least so far. It may continue to break down, but that's kind of how I do it. Yeah, it's $36. Garov, only 36 bucks. Appreciate the sub, Wolf. Thanks, man. Appreciate the sub. Yeah, I heard Weeble's launching a desktop platform this year. That sounds like a good idea, Isaac. Never again, bro. Never again. Kron. Yeah, Kron filled the gap. So now it's just about what it does now. Can you actually trade from it though, Nick, on Weeble's desktop charting app? Not yet. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for them to. The good thing about it, what I mean though is that like if they do make a desktop charting app, it's nothing against Weeble, but I would just use Thinkorswim for charts and then kind of like what I'm doing with Tefs here, just kind of have a Weeble thing there to execute the trades. Solo. Yeah, Solo spiking up here. Getting squeezed up. APHA breaking down here, and but yeah, I mean the fades have definitely been in play, and they've just been really, really reliable lately. Like I said, I haven't no losing trades so far this week. Technically, you could even consider yesterday's trade a win, even though it was $1, but no losing trades for me this week. And then the last losing trade I had was last Friday. But then even the 2 days before that were green as well, so. In the last 8 trading days, I've only had one red day. And so, not too shabby here. We'll see if we can get a streak going here. But the fades have definitely been in play. For a little while, the fades just weren't working. Let's see if the opening range breakout would have worked on AMD today. But yeah, for a while, the fades just weren't working. But, lately they have been for sure. Just such a big profit target from 40 up to 35-cent profit target's actually not that bad, but it's only reasonably gotten about 18, 19 cents from it. So like if the opening range breakout is going to work here, it would have to get down to 305 right here for it to actually be followed through, which is under the previous day's closing price. I don't trust it that much. The previous day's closing price is about here, so we'll see. Could fill the gap. But yeah, if anybody's interested in using the broker that Mitch and I use, you can check out my link here. So TradeNet is actually still having their Valentine's Day sale going on. So you can actually get 20% off TradeNet packages, which is the broker I'm using. So if you're interested in checking that out, the Valentine's Day sale is only going on for the next week or so. I think it ends on the 21st, so a little bit less than a week. And so if you're interested in checking that out, go to that jump to click link I just posted. It's the TradeNet 20% off link for Valentine's Day. Somebody asked, can you briefly discuss your strategy you're running? Yeah, so it's a VWAP fade strategy. So I'm using the VWAP, and what you want to understand is that the VWAP is a trend indicator. It's an intraday trend indicator. Don't get me wrong. It's an intraday trend indicator. So if the stock is below the VWAP, it is in an intraday downward move. It's considered an intraday downward trend. If the stock is above the intraday VWAP, it's in an upward intraday trend. And so what I essentially look for is a big downward move at the open. So I see this big downward move on APHA, and I say, okay, well, if it pulls back to the VWAP, I'll have pretty good risk reward. If I get in at 72, which is where I was planning on it, my risk would have been 8 cents up to 780, because you can see the confirmation in 780 here. My risk would have been 8 cents, and my reward would be from 72 down to the previous low of the day, in this case 950, right? So my risk is from 72 up to 80 if the trade would have worked out how I wanted it to, but it didn't. But regardless, that was my plan. From 72 up to 80, that's 8 cents. And then my reward is from 72 down to 50, so 22 cents. And so my risk is 8 cents. My reward is 22 cents. What is that? 816, almost 3 to 1. Risk to reward, or reward to risk, I'm sorry. So my reward in that trade would have been almost 3 times more than my risk, right? And so the plan is just to get in the VWAP and then take a partial profit at least at the previous low of the day, take advantage of that range-bound move. And so that's essentially what I did. Of course, I'm just now seeing it break under here, but here, hold on, let me see that real quick. I just now saw it broke under my level, but I mean, I got out at 45. I took profits at a reasonable enough area, so I'm happy with what I did here. Here. Yeah. Oh, I made $36. If you're going to promote TradeNet, you should be telling people about the free challenge. Yeah, guys, TradeNet does have a free challenge, right? It's tough to win, but it's worth a shot. And so you can still check out and request that free challenge if you go through my link. Just go to the link, reach out to them, and say, hey, I want to do the 5-day demo challenge. Somebody, I don't actually know. The reason I haven't really been promoting that, I don't know exactly what you have to do to win the challenge. I just know there is a challenge. I actually didn't find out about the challenge until after I bought a TradeNet package. But I think it's something like if you make a certain amount of money in 5 trading days, you get a free intro account. I think it's something like that. But yeah, did that make sense when I explained it, Shane? I try to explain it the best I can. The VWAP fade is a short strategy. You enter around the VWAP and you cover partials at the previous low of the day, looking for a drop. And so that's kind of what I was doing. I ended up getting in at a worse entry. My average was actually right here. And I ended up covering right here. And so, yeah, let's see how much I made from it. 65 down to 45. I made about 20 cents a share on average. Why TradeNet instead of TD Ameritrade? Just because I can't. There's no PDT rule on TEFs, which is TradeNet's partnering broker. And so I can trade as much as I want. I can trade as many times as I want. On TD Ameritrade, I can't short at all, and I'm mostly a short bias trader. To short on TD Ameritrade, you have to have at least a certain amount of money in your account, and you have to be approved for a margin account in order to be able to short. Plus, you're going to have to follow the PDT rule on Thinkorswim. And so I mostly just use Thinkorswim for charting. I have traded on Thinkorswim before. If you look back at some of my really old videos from the channel, I do have a bunch of live trade videos from me trading on Thinkorswim, but I prefer TEFs because I can short anything that's tradable and there's no PDT rule. I also have much more buying power. And so, it just, for the way I'm trading, TEFs makes more sense. People, like, the reason some people do that, Nick, don't take it personal, Brett. That's my best advice. If I'm not trying to say I'm a great trader, a brilliant trader. Honestly, I've been trading the opening range breakout for about a month prior to this green streak, and I had a terrible, terrible time trading. I had 1 week, I had 4 losses and 1 win. Just big losses on the opening range breakout. Eventually I said, okay, the opening range breakout isn't working in my favor. I'm going to switch to a different strategy. And once I switched to the VWAP fade, like I said, 7 out of the last 8 trading days have been profitable for me. So just don't take it personal. It's just the market. Test everything you do. Test the strategies you use, and then just try to get a reasonable expectation from it. If that expectation isn't following through, then switch it up. Use a different strategy. Test a different strategy. Try to get a reasonable expectation from that strategy, and do it that way. Learn to back test your strategies too. That'll help. But yeah, that's what I would do. Nightbot is a computer. He's a bot. That's a good idea, Shane. That's actually a really smart way to approach it. Just take it slow. How do you set up the VWAP? Did you use the original platform? All right, so look, to get the VWAP on Thinkorswim, you go to Studies, Add Study. Here, I'll bring it over. Just for a second, I'll bring this over so you guys can see it. Yeah, I have 3 monitors, and so I have charts everywhere. But you go to Studies, Add Study, Trend Studies. You go to the T through Z, and you go up to VWAP. Right? And then you're going to get these 3 lines. You don't want these 3 lines. You just want the middle one. And so you go hover over the middle one. You side click. You go to Edit Study. And then you go to the upper band, uncheck show plot, lower band, uncheck show plot, right? And you should get this. You should get this right here. Hope that made sense to everybody. Yeah, dude, I play poker every day, man. I love poker. I've been playing poker for much longer than I've been playing trading. I have a picture of my graph here from, but yeah, I've been playing poker a long time. I usually my kind of niche in poker is sit and goes. I like 6 and 9 max sit and goes. That's what I really do well with. That's what I'm actually pretty profitable with. Sticking to small stakes. 6 and 9 max sit and goes. I play on Global Poker, America's Card Room, Ignition, Black Chip Poker, a few different other sites. But yeah, I play poker every day, man. Love poker. If you want to play a few games with me, let me know. We can do it. Poker? I play Hold'em. Only Hold'em. Yeah, no, I play for real money. For sure. If it's not for real money, I don't know a point in playing poker, you know? But yeah, the reason poker, I will say this though, poker actually kind of brought me over to trading. And the reason is because they're very, very similar games. Like in poker, you're going to have to calculate what your risk is, what your odds of winning the hand are versus what you're actually going to win in the hand, the risk versus reward. You're going to have to calculate different ranges of hands that people may have in certain situations depending on what seat they're in. It's just very, very similar to trading. Very, very similar game to trading. And so, like I said, I actually played poker first and then transitioned over to trading, but very similar games for sure. Hey man, I play on Global Poker. Like I said, man, y'all send me a message on Twitter, and we can set up a game or something. But yeah, I play on Global Poker, America's Card Room, Black Chip Poker, Ignition Casino. I play on every U.S. available site. I'm in Texas, so I can only play on those U.S. sites, but I play on all of them. I wish I could play on PokerStars. Yeah, SAEX. I see two-way talking about it, but SAEX is spiking up here. Big spike up to 525. A lot of volume coming in there. At Beginner Trades. At Beginner Trades is my Twitter. But yeah, SAEX spiking up nicely here. Big volume push, up to 500,000 shares, up 537 or 400,000, up to almost 540. So a big squeeze here. There's up to 550. Just jumped another 10 cents. Up to 54 at its highs now. So getting a lot of volume coming in for SAEX. A big move here. Looks like a low floater as well. That's rough, Brett. Yeah, man. I was actually playing poker the other day, and I was actually playing on poker the other day, and I saw somebody with the screen name Orb Trader, Opening Range Breakout Trader. It was ORB Trader, and I messaged him, and I sent him a message in the chat. I was like, "Hey, man, I trade the Opening Range Breakout," and I was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of the YouTube channel Beginner Trading?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, I've been a sub for a long time." He's like, "This is crazy." Da, 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 da. And so him and I actually had a long talk, like on Global Poker, sitting there playing with each other. He actually showed me how to look up my shark scope to see how profitable I was. And yeah, I have a profitable graph on it. I think I average, like in sit and go tournaments, I win 40% of the time, which is pretty good when you're playing 6 and 9 people. All right, but yeah, SAEX here. Well, it's kind of battling the $0.50. It's at 4. It's at 540s now. So the $0.50 is the big level. Whether that area holds as resistance, and then you also have the support underneath it at 520. And so those are the two levels I would watch for SAEX here. All right, two-way. Have a good day, brother. Yeah, guys, remember guys, that Monday the stock market is closed. The stock market is closed on Monday for. Hey, Carol. No, the market's closed on Monday. I can't remember what it's closed for, but it's some type of holiday. President's Day, maybe? I don't know. What do we think about going long on OAS? I liked OAS down here for this VWAP bounce. So like if you heard me talk about the fade, there's a long play that's kind of like the opposite of a VWAP fade, right? It's called a VWAP bounce. You look for an upward push at the open, a pullback to the VWAP here, and this is where you get in going long with the reward target of up here at the previous high of the day. And then you just look for some resistance above it. I don't know how, maybe 608, 605 for risk, trying to get favorable risk reward. But it looked like a VWAP bounce there. Cron, it's a little bit too late for it though. Cron is breaking above the VWAP, sorry. Looking at that level to hold right there that I just drew. See if it holds right there, which is also the $0.50 at 21.50. If I was in at the VWAP at 21.35, I would probably use that area roughly as my risk. So that's what I would be looking at here. CGC is pulling back to the VWAP. SAEX is actually breaking over it now. Broke over the high of the day. Broke over the $0.50. It's at 560. 560. I'm getting so many different answers for what Monday is. Oh no, man. I mean, today I traded the VWAP fade. Today I traded the VWAP fade. I stick with about 3 or 4 different strategies. Most of them are like VWAP fades, VWAP bounces, opening range breakouts, and triangles sometimes. Very rarely, but sometimes. That's usually what I stick with. Sometimes low of the day breaks, it just depends. But I usually stick with those 3 or 4 strategies. Those are the ones that have done me the best. The VWAP fade is easily my favorite. It's the one I trade the most often and that has the best results from. Like, for instance, out of the last 8 trading days, 7 of them have been green days, profitable days, and all 7 of those green days were the VWAP fade. You know, I traded the VWAP fade every single one of those days. So VWAP fade is most definitely my favorite. But yeah, Shane, here I'll send you a video. This video is how like a breakdown of the VWAP fade. All right, so I'll send you the video. This one's called 3 Keys to the VWAP Fade. There's a little bit of a breakdown with it. Hey, John, where's your partner? The guy that says guys 100 times each time he's on. Yeah, Mitch. Mitch recently moved to Colorado. He moved from Florida to Colorado, and so Mitch is in the middle of his move. He texted me yesterday and said that he finally made it to Colorado. And so, well, he should be back next week. He should be all set up and back and ready to be on stream next week. But yeah, he's recently moved across the country basically. And so yeah, he made a big move, and so he's been busy the last week or so, but he'll be back next week, I believe. Yeah, Kron over 2150. And like I said, guys, when you're establishing a risk area, you want to when you're establishing a risk and a reward area, right? We went over this the other day in one of our classes, but when you're establishing a risk and reward area, you want to base it off of where is the most likely area that this stock is going to reverse, right? Like where is the most likely self-evident point, reversal point in this chart? Right? And so, for instance, like for Kron, I said my risk would have been 2150 here. Why is that my risk? Is because if it breaks over that, that's the most likely area that it's going to get squeezed up. Because if it's going to pull back down, it's usually going to happen right around 2150. And so if it breaks that, you know, a lot of times it's going to get squeezed up. Same thing with reward target. You know, if my reward target was down here at 2085, if you look at the chart, this is the most likely area that CRON would have bounced back up if I was short. If you want to look at the trade I actually got into, APHA, same thing. You know, this is the most likely reversal point at 980, and this is the most likely reversal point on the way up. And so when you're setting risk and reward, at least for me, I look for the most likely reversal point. How many shares would I like to trade at? You know, ideally, I would like to get to like 600-700. You know, today I used 300 shares, but it's a process. I used 300 today. Ideally, though, it just depends on the range. I think that it depends, man. You know, stocks can have different ranges. You know, a $5 stock can have a $2 range, right? And a $30 stock can have a 50-cent range. You know, and so it just depends on the price of the stock, the range of the stock, how volatile the stock is, you know, and that's going to ultimately dictate what kind of share size I want to use. Yeah, markets close Monday. Yeah, ACB right back to the VWAP here. Like I said, where's the most likely reversal point? I think it's right here at 720. 721 maybe. You know, tight risk, bigger reward. Do I think it's going to work out? Probably not. I think it'll probably end up stopping that level out. But if I was in this trade looking at a VWAP fade, I would probably like that 720, 721 area as my risk. Just because it's so tight. It's not about whether I think it's going to work this time. It's about whether I think it would be profitable if I took that trade over and over and over again. In the long run, would it be profitable? I think it probably would. But in this specific situation, I don't know. You know, I think it's pretty close to that risk level. But the risk is tiny relative to the reward. In this case, the risk would be like 5 or 6 cents. The reward looks like about 15 cents. And so it looks like about 3-1 on ACB if you're getting in short at the VWAP. But like I said, we'll see what happens. It doesn't look terrible. Like I said, risk level of this. Here, give me that thing, man. Risk level of that, reward level of that. Just so you can see it with like a little bit better. I'm keeping this. Pick up another one for you.
I'll try.
Alright.
I'm gonna pick Julie up, but I'm gonna go do Julie's.
Alright, hurry up.
Alright, and then just have him ready.
Alright.
When I get back.
Alright.
Alright, love you.
Love you. Will VWAP work on Forex? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know, man. I've never traded Forex. I'm kind of lost. I'm kind of ignorant of all that is Forex. I just don't know anything about it. And so it might. I don't know. You would have to ask somebody. If anybody's traded Forex, do you know if there is a VWAP indicator in Forex? Because I honestly have no idea. All right, for sure, Tech. I got you, brother. Hey, man. Yeah, Tech. We just dropped the price down for our classes, actually, man. The price is only $15 a month now, so we just dropped the price down to it. We had to figure out what we wanted to do with it. But yeah, we just dropped the price down. So classes are super cheap right now. Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured there probably wouldn't be. But yeah, I mean, this is just stock strategies. I don't know enough about Forex or crypto or anything like that to really trade it. The problem with Forex for me is that it's open 24/7. And so I have enough trouble trying to stay away from stocks. If the stock market was open 24/7, I'd probably be broke, you know? Okay, so the volume isn't available in Forex. That makes sense. All right, so like I said, watching ACB here, looking at the range of this thing. And yeah, what I always try to tell people is that, like, the VWAP fade is essentially a range-bound trade, right? You look at the range of the day on ACB. This is roughly the range, right, from 7 up to 728. So roughly an 87-cent range, right, on ACB here. You're just looking for it to come back down and test the low of this intraday range, right? The intraday range, like I said, is this box right here. That's the intraday range, right? And so with the VWAP fade, you're kind of trading in between that, and you're looking for it to pull back down and just test the bottom here. The bottom of that range, which is between the low of the day and the VWAP. And so that's essentially what the VWAP fade is you're just trying to take advantage of a range-bound move from roughly in between the range down to test the bottom of the range. And I think that's why it's pretty accurate, is because a lot of times stocks will test the bottom of the range even if they don't necessarily break it. And so I think that's one of the reasons why. But It's a range bound trade. Hey, good job, Shin. Yeah, hey, green is green, brother. Congrats, man. SKYS up 130%. Whoa, man, I didn't even see that one. I think he's been calling it out. Yeah, appreciate that, Pat. Yeah, nice job, brother. Congrats, man. But man, SKYS really running here. BLNK popping up on the scanners too. BLNK is charging, like an electric charging station company, I believe, something like that, if I remember correctly. AREC, low volume, no volume on that one. CGC, watching for it here. We'll see what we get. Cron, reversing some. NBEV, pulling back some. Yeah, SPY's up. Yeah, this is one of the reasons why, the opening range breakout is tough. Because a lot of times it'll just kind of stay in this range bound play, a range bound kind of move here. I think the opening range breakout is the most viable whenever AMD has a very short and small 5-minute opening range, right? So like if that first 5-minute candle was like 15 or 20 cents, I think that's a reasonable reward target if you're trying to get 1-to-1 from it. But if that first 5-minute candle is 30, 40, 50, 60 cents, then it's just a little bit unreasonable to expect that big reward from it. Yeah, look at ACB drop. How do you withdraw money from TradeNet? You just contact them. You get to withdraw money once a month. And then Casey tested one, and he requested the withdrawal on the 10th and received it on the 19th. So in 9 days, it took them to get his money from Tefs. Does anybody know what happened to the stock RGSE? I remember RGSE. I mean, it's just a penny stock, man. With regard to what happened to it, I mean, it's just a penny stock. It's down, It's just a penny stock. That's all I really know. All right, Flavio, have a good day, brother. Would daily moving average be better for swing trading than the VWAP? Probably. Probably. VWAP for me is an intraday trend indicator, so like a daily, like an intraday trend. So like what the trend is on a specific day. If you're swing trading, it wouldn't be as relevant in my opinion. So like maybe moving averages would probably be better. Maybe, the 20, maybe the 50 moving average might be a little bit better for swing trading. 100-day maybe even. Also, guys, if you want to check out TradeNet, they have their 20% off Valentine's Day sale going on. And so you get the intro package. Instead of being $500, you get the intro package for $399 up until the 21st, I believe, of this month. And so for the next 6 days. You get the intro package for $3.99, so super cheap. Go check it out. Just posted the link in the chat. Any experience trading options on Robinhood? Yeah, I've traded options on Robinhood before. The only problem with the options, it works. It's pretty seamless on Robinhood. The only problem with it, no, I haven't, Pablo. Not yet, at least. Obviously, I'm still working my way to, but I haven't yet. But like I said, one of our members in our classes did, and he tested it. And like I said, he got his in 9 days. But no, so one of the problems with Robinhood is that there's just not that many good prices. Like, I couldn't find that many favorable prices for me with options. It's seamless and easy to trade options on Robinhood, but a little bit restricted. The prices aren't the best. So the people selling options aren't giving you super favorable terms, obviously. And I think if you want to be successful with options, you have to look for favorable terms. So you can see the Forex VWAP. That's interesting. I do a little bit of swing trading, not much. Mostly stick to day trading. All right, so like I said, ACB dropping down. It had tight risk reward, you know. It's down to 710 now. So it would have given you about 1-to-1 at this point. It's just about whether this level at 709 acts as support. All right, Shiz. Yeah, I'm probably going to close it down here as well. So everybody have a good weekend. But yeah, like I said, doing pretty well since I started trading the VWAP fade again. The opening range breakout had me kind of down. I just wasn't doing well with it. So definitely happy since I started switching back over to the VWAP fade. Again, out of the last 8 trading days, 7 of them have been profitable. And so super happy with that. Overall, we just got to continue pushing here. And hopefully we'll do all right. But yeah, also shout out to Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas is cool enough to allow me to stream their scans every day. And so if you're interested in checking out the scans that I use here, you can go check out Trade Ideas. They make my morning much, much easier. Yeah, for sure. That's one of my goals, Pablo, is to be able to do that so we can test it out. For sure. I know Mitch is working on it at this point too. But like I said, we're not experts or gurus. We're obviously still working on being profitable ourselves. And so, in time, it'll come. You know, I'm just not trying to rush it too much. But yeah, go check out Trade Ideas. If you're interested in using, if you're interested in checking out TAFs and TradeNet, like I said, you can go to that link. Yeah, man, my mic is pretty good, man. It actually picks up most. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. That's CBD. But yeah, guys, good luck. I'll see you all Tuesday, I guess. I'll try to put a few videos out this weekend as well, though. But I'll see you all Tuesday for sure for the stream. If you haven't already, guys, hit that subscribe button. I day trade live on stream every weekday morning, starting at 8:15 market time. And so hit that subscribe button if you want to watch me day trade live every day. Also, if you want to do your best to help support the channel, click the like button right now on this video. It does help support us if you click that like button, and we really appreciate any support we could get. And so have a good weekend, guys. I'll try to put a few videos out this weekend. Maybe reviewing my week is what I'll probably make a video on this weekend. But yeah, good luck, and I'll see you all Tuesday at the very least.